like a band. I'm trying to find it in my head what you mean by White Mountain Boys. Like, I know.
Well, look them up on the internet.
In
it's that easy. It's that easy.
Really?
Look them up on the internet. White Mountain Boys. Yes, look them up on the internet. It's that easy.
Okay.
They're out of, I want to say upstate New York. What the hell are they doing all the way in East Hampton from upstate New York? And they have military boots on.
Oh, they are a band. They're a music band group. That's who you're talking about. Showed up on the same radio with you.
No. These men were no. They.
Oh, okay.
No.
There's the White Mountain Boys group. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you say White Mountain Boys, what does that mean?
It's
a music
you gotta
band
just. Well, there's other things involved too. So
you mean colloquially? Give us an idea. Is it just some guys that showed up with a macho type of? We can picture mafia because we watch movies. But what do you mean by White Mountain Boys? Like country talking, or they were just?
First of all, after the show, when I got back to my house, there were 3 SUVs blocking my driveway that were black on black SUVs. Right after I did the interview on the show, live. And then another time I went again like an idiot. And another time there was a woman or 3 women from the Air Force that were sitting there, and they had the snottiest attitudes, and they were trying to discredit me right there.
Really? Just because you're on a radio show?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I've been followed. I've walked into stores, where it seems every time I talk about this, like I could go to the gas station tonight, go grab a pack of cigarettes or whatever, and next thing you know, they're inside the store, and they're watching me. I get watched on a regular basis. I don't know why. It just something.
Well, maybe you've
they
been
don't want
assigned
me
to a
speaking.
group. Sounds like you're in a study group of some time. Do you mind if you give me some of the ideas that maybe you've researched besides the White Boy band group or the White Boys? Give me some ideas. You think it's something to do with your childhood that you told us about in New Jersey, or what?
No, Long Island.
Long Island. Excuse me.
TJ.
Yeah.
All right. No, I've been around a couple of people that in the Montauk Project were involved with it at some level.
Okay.
It's the most hushed UFO story that exists in the United States. It's the most covered up event that happened. Very few people talk. I know Peter Moon has a lot of books. He talked about it. He talked about the Montauk Project. But he was dealing with Preston Nichols, and I think Preston Nichols was spaced out, so a lot of the truth was really twisted. But going further back when I was younger and involved with people, and I saw the Hershey monkey.
Was that the Ford story? Do you want to tell
story?
Sean about the... Yeah, he may know about it, Sean. I don't know where we're getting these people watching you, but I'd love to investigate that a little bit, Sean, if you don't mind. You know what I mean?
To investigate?
Do you know anything about John Ford, Sean?
No, I know that he was working in a Supreme Court that was in Riverhead, Long Island, for a while. I have a friend where I guess something to do with putting he had a UFO case, and they showed up and they looked into the case, and this guy won't talk about it, but then he was telling me about how somebody, or I don't know if it was John Ford, but something with the toothpaste, and it was a joke.
Yeah, all right.
Right.
You're smart. So they're waiting for you. Okay, I know what your part is in this story. All right. At least for me, I was finding a place to put you. But, yeah, you're like a bait and hook or bait and switch. So people will be watching you to see what happens next. I've been there, done that. I've been in your position. It's no fun. But,
no,
that's
not at all.
But keep going. Well, keep going with how you see it, because you're doing a pretty good job of hanging in life. And Tommy's grown through it, 30, 40 years of this. So I'm glad that you guys got to talk. All right. Well, continue with your story then. I've got chill bumps. I'm just going to let you know. My skin. You know what that is, right? Goosebumps? Chicken skin. Go ahead. I got the creepies.
Well, yeah, my brain just buzzed right now. It's weird. I just got wiped for some reason.
Yeah, it does.
However,
I did too.
I do know
What is
that he's in the Mid-Hudson Psychiatric Center for the Criminally Insane. And I do know that he's not convicted of anything. They need to release the man. I mean, we got so much stuff going on. We got Uncle Sam's Snuff Factory in Texas, where adrenochrome and, superstars drinking people's blood and eating children and eating humans. And, this girl, Katie Groves, speaks about it in her video. And I post these videos, and it seems that Facebook, every time I post these videos, I get threats. I get threats. But it was really ironic how when I was on the Barry Gauntz interview with Barry Gauntz and Eric Mitchell, a base from Clearwater texted him, and we were on Blog Talk, and told him to tell Sean and Eric to keep quiet. And then Barry claims that he looked out his window and there were cars near his driveway. After we all got booted off, Eric went off the air. Eric went off the air real quickly. We had 35 minutes left on the show, and the whole show ended up getting cut off. Blog Talk, it just completely cut us off. Thank you for being on Blog Talk. Goodbye. And that was it. And that's when Barry Gauntz and Eric spoke, and I got the call from Barry, and he was telling me about it was something with a U.S. Coast Guard doctor, and it was coming from a base in Clearwater, Florida. And they were texting him on his phone, and he said his phone literally flew off the table. Like, I don't know, just flew off the table.
Yeah, it's a strong.
And funny thing is right, Barry got sick for a little while there, and he just contacted me. And when I told him I was on your radio show, I'm going to be on your show, he was like, "Oh, TJ's good people." And so now, that's funny. I sent him the memo, and he was like, "Wow, that's cool." Yeah, so it's funny. Maybe if there is some connection here, maybe there is some kind of connection here. I don't know. This is why I want to go through a regression and, hypnotherapy and, and continue. Like this right here is very therapeutic. Talking with people that have been through and have had experiences that I might hear something that might help me. Or who knows? I might say something that might help somebody else. I don't know, but I'm not going to put out fake stuff. I'm going to just speak from my heart.
Well, good for you, Sean. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that Barry said I was good people, because I believe the same thing about him. He and I, you haven't seen Bear, have you? He's one of the few people that's been with me on the planet. Yeah, I don't know. When he stood next to me, he made me feel like a midget, and I'm 5'11", folks. And this guy must be 6'6" or 6'7", or I don't know. He's one of the big. I mean, and he's big, but I mean, he's not just tall, thin, like a basketball player. This man, but when I knew him, he was huge. I understand he's lost some weight, but man, you talk about, and sweet. Oh my God, you know why they call him Bear? But Bear, well, I think was for Barry, gone, Barry, you know. And anyway, good man. He was the executive director assistant for Mutual UFO Network. When I joined for the first time ever, I felt brave enough because I'd had a truck accident, broke my neck and back, and couldn't speak, and had to have my throat cut out, and couldn't. I just went through a real bad thing. But I got back on a motorcycle. It was after I told y'all about going through Nashville CMA. But I finally, my daughter down here, where I'm at now in Gulf Breeze, sent me a picture that something told her in her head to send me that picture of her going to work and catch it on her cell phone. She did, and when she sent it to me, she and I talked on the phone, and there was a UFO in it. And I used to try as an investigator for years, not with MUFON, but as a real a professional. God, what do I say about it? I got paid as an investigator, as a legal investigator, private investigator, you know. So I had all this great equipment around, and every time I'd try to take pictures through the years of my visitations, they would not take. So I was all excited. So that's how I gave it to Barry, and then I got visited that night by a black triangle with red lights on it. It's called at midnight and turned it into 911. So Barry took my report for MUFON, and then Bigelow and him, he was telling me about Robert Bigelow, and all of a sudden black helicopters were coming over his house, and people in black cars came to his door. Anyway, he decided he didn't want to have nothing. He didn't know if it was MUFON or not, but he, the guy that was in charge for Kentucky got fired, and he's still a friend of mine. And so was that was when James Carrion was president, and then Captain McDonald came in. They moved the office down to the line at Cincinnati, Ohio. But anyway, I talked to the captain, and I ordered my $75 investigator book, but they were tearing it apart with Kathy Martin. And anyway, it was a bad time. It was a real mixed-up time. I was writing for UFO Digest, and I got in real deep with alligators and people dropping my name in MUFON groups, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I just, for 1 year, you know, sent them my 59 or whatever and bought the $75 book. But I got in quick, deep. So Barry and I just sort of split and started the ACO Club, and he went down, and I went down. They were shooting a movie down at the Octagon, and they invited me, and I went down and saw some Civil War soldiers out front, and talked to a ghost horse, and did all the paranormal stuff psychics do, so that was fun. And I think he's stuck with it over there, but he's a really good person, and I'm glad that you, I don't know how you hooked up with him, but I'm glad you hooked up with me. You found me. But how did you find Barry? Could you tell me that? Was it on Facebook?
Well, yeah, I had contacted him, and we had spoke a few times because Eric Mitchell, who is another abductee, and he works with a lot of people. Well, Bear was actually ran off the road, and he had problems with his legs. And he remembers there were UFOs because he was going to a Starborn support group, experiencers speak, and he got ran off the road because he was going to, I guess, present evidence of Eric Mitchell. That's Eric's investigator, his private investigator, yeah. And they, yeah. Eric, me and Eric connected back in 2014, and Eric told me straight up, he said, I'm like a lie detector test, and he said, I know that you have had ET experiences along with other experiences. He says, you just got to take it down that path and see where you end up.
Yeah, you got to confront it head on. But some people don't remember or don't want to. I've had ups and downs with my own life story. A lot of pain. And, it's you just do the best you can to keep going. And because I decided to take the high road, that's the only thing that keeps me really on the planet, is hoping